The year was 1983. On a cold November morning in Flint, Michigan, a 16-year-old girl left home with nothing more than her schoolbooks and the expectation that she would be back before sunset. She never arrived at school. Within days, an ordinary walk to the bus stop had become one of Michigan's most haunting unsolved murder investigations. For more than 4 decades, detectives chased thousands of leads, interviewed countless witnesses, and collected DNA from over 100 people. Every promising clue seemed to end in disappointment. Meanwhile, the person responsible quietly returned to everyday life, blending into the community while a grieving family waited year after year for answers they feared would never come. How can someone commit such a brutal crime and remain hidden for more than 40 years? And what finally uncovered the truth after so much time had passed? This is the heartbreaking case of Sherry Jo Elliott. Before we continue, if you enjoy carefully researched true crime documentaries, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from, and subscribe to Cold Case 247. Your support helps us continue bringing forgotten cases back into the spotlight. Sherry Jo Elliott was known as a quiet, respectful teenager who rarely attracted attention. Friends and relatives remembered her as someone who enjoyed simple things. She loved spending time with family, coloring when she was younger, and always tried to look her best before leaving the house. She wasn't the type to take unnecessary risks, and those closest to her often described her as shy and cautious around strangers. Her parents had divorced years earlier, but despite the changes in her family life, Sherry maintained a close relationship with both sides of the family. She divided her time between her mother and father and was looking forward to the future like any other teenager. On the morning of November 19, 1983, Sherry prepared for school as usual. Before leaving, her mother reminded her to dress warmly because the weather was cold. It seemed like an ordinary conversation, one of those brief exchanges families have every day without realizing it may be their last. Sherry stepped outside and began the short walk toward her school bus stop, only a couple of blocks from home. She never made it. When classes ended that afternoon, her family expected her to walk through the front door as she always did. She had a routine. She would relax, enjoy a snack, and spend the rest of the afternoon at home. But the house remained quiet. As the hours passed, concern quickly turned into panic. Her parents called relatives, friends, and classmates, hoping someone had seen her. No one had. When they contacted police, they were met with a response that many families of missing teenagers heard during that era. Investigators initially believed Sherry had probably run away. Her family strongly disagreed. Nothing was missing from her room. She had taken no extra clothing, no personal belongings, and had given no indication that she planned to leave home. Those who knew her best insisted she would never disappear without telling someone she trusted. Still, precious time slipped away. While officers treated the case as a possible runaway, her family searched relentlessly. They handed out flyers, checked neighborhoods, contacted anyone who might know something, and desperately hoped every phone call would bring good news. Instead, the mystery only deepened. Days passed without a single confirmed sighting. It was as if Sherry had simply vanished. For decades, the investigation remained at a standstill. The evidence had not disappeared. It had simply outlived the technology available to examine it. As forensic science continued to evolve, investigators refused to give up on Sherry Jo Elliott's case. Every few years, detectives reopened the files, hoping that a new scientific breakthrough could reveal what traditional investigative work could not. By the early 2020s, advances in DNA analysis had transformed the way cold cases were investigated. Instead of relying only on direct DNA matches in criminal databases, investigators could now use advanced forensic genealogy to identify relatives of an unknown suspect and gradually build a family tree. It was a technique that had already solved several long-forgotten crimes across the United States. Detectives decided Sherry's case deserved the same opportunity. The biological evidence collected in 1983 was carefully re-examined by forensic specialists. Despite its age, analysts determined that enough genetic material had survived to create a detailed DNA profile. For the first time in more than 40 years, investigators had a genuine reason to believe the case could finally move forward. The DNA profile was processed using modern forensic methods before genealogical research began. Instead of producing the suspect's name immediately, the results identified distant relatives whose family histories could be traced through public records, historical documents, and family trees. The process was anything but simple. Investigators spent months comparing birth records, marriage certificates, census information, newspaper archives, and countless other historical documents. Every new discovery eliminated one branch of a family while pointing toward another. It became a painstaking puzzle that required extraordinary patience. Eventually, the family tree narrowed. One individual began attracting investigators' attention more than anyone else. Unlike many previous suspects, this person had managed to stay almost entirely outside the spotlight for decades. He had no widely known connection to the investigation and had never become a major focus during the original inquiry. Detectives quietly began verifying his background. Rather than rushing to conclusions, they carefully compared timelines, locations, and every available piece of evidence. Only after the information consistently aligned did investigators move to obtain a fresh DNA sample for confirmation. When laboratory scientists completed the comparison, the results provided the answer investigators had been searching for since 1983. The DNA from the newly collected sample matched the biological evidence preserved from Sherry Jo Elliott's case. After more than 4 decades, the mystery that had haunted a family and an entire community finally had an answer. For Sherry's loved ones, the announcement brought emotions that were difficult to describe. There was relief in finally knowing the truth. There was gratitude that investigators had never abandoned the case. But there was also sadness. Nothing could return the 16-year-old girl whose future had been taken away so many years before. Justice, even when delayed, could never erase the pain of losing a child. Her story serves as a powerful reminder that cold cases are never truly forgotten. Evidence can wait. Technology can improve. And even after decades of silence, the truth can still emerge. Thank you for watching this episode of Cold Case 247. If you believe every victim deserves to be remembered and every family deserves answers, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who appreciates carefully researched true crime documentaries. Also, let us know in the comments, do you believe advances in forensic DNA technology will eventually solve most cold cases, or do you think some mysteries will remain unsolved forever? Until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and remember, time may hide the truth, but it does not erase it.